Tell me, do you agree with me or not? Are we mistreating our Australian citizens in India?
Or it's tough, but look, the reports that I was hearing overnight, and this doesn't come as a shock to anyone because it's come out now, that the numbers of people suffering from COVID and the deaths are probably been underplayed and could be twice as bad as what has been first reported. So I think we've kind of done the right thing. I mean, it is only for another couple of weeks, or about 2.5 weeks.
You believe
so
that?
It's not. Look, it's not great. It's awful, but I would say that it's going to be far better than the alternative. I think we're playing cautious on this one. Is a good move.
The alternative is Australians come home, Liz, through quarantine, where if there's anyone infected, we pick them up, as we've done with every other country for the past year or so.
Yeah, look, I think this is a really bad move, Chris. And why it doesn't make much sense to me at all is because we're told we've paused these for 2 weeks, at which time the experts are saying it's going to be worse than ever. They reckon by mid-May, India will be clocking over 13,300 deaths a day. So we're really putting this on pause when we know the situation's only going to escalate from here. And we're saying that when flights resume, if they are to go according to plan, resuming in 2 weeks' time, we'll get everyone hopping on a plane to pass the nasal swab test as well as another test before they hop on the plane. Well, why can't we do that now? I think this is nothing more than a pure optics exercise by our PM. He knows pandemic protectionism has done very well in the Queensland election, very well in the WA election. He himself has an election within a year's time, and he's just doing what's smart politically. But I do think we're leaving 9,000 Aussies stranded for absolutely no reason, and we know that 650 of those are in the vulnerable category.
Now, Justin, just on another issue, do you believe that anybody ought to resent our Olympic athletes and officials getting the vaccine ahead of others?
Oh, gee, I tell you what, I like the Olympics. I'm glad that we're going to the Olympics. I'm glad that they can get the jab, but I would like to have seen the whole vaccine rollout run a hell of a lot smoother and other people getting the vaccine before the athletes manage to get it as well. I think it's not a great, even in this sport-loving country that we have, I think that the jab should have been going into some other arms before it went into the arms of the athletes. So I'm not a big fan of them getting it early. No.
What about you, Liz? The Olympic jabs?
Yeah, look, I think they should if they want it, obviously. They've trained for years and years to make it there. And I think also out of respect for our host country. Japan has over 5 times Australia's population, and a quarter of that population is over 65. Last time I checked, they had over 36,000 cases. And of course, they also have a fraction of our landmass. So these guys are living on top of each other. So I think out of respect for the host country of the Olympics, it's the right thing to do. If they want the jab, to get it.